morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful globe floating through the void of Yah's creation.
You won't be trusted anymore.
All right, here we are. It's a Monday. It's the 24th of November, 2025. And yes, it's Thanksgiving week. Hopefully you've got your plans all worked out, and hopefully you won't have to deal with all the madness and the travel in the highways and the airports and all that type of stuff. Yours truly, I'm just going to stay out of the way. I'm staying home. Anyway, I hope you've got some plans for gatherings, etc., but above all else, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday. Anyway, welcome to the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist, and I'm here with the facts, WTF, and if those facts make you exclaim, WTF, well then so be it. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. Of course, it's been a weekend and a half, as a matter of fact. And before I get started, as always, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Wave Watch. And if you haven't checked it out, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a technology that, of course, was developed by, the frequency thing was a discovery by Nikola Tesla, but Royal Raymond Rife ran with that and figured out that frequencies can have very beneficial values for your body. And that's why Linda Bamber was able to make a Wave Watch, which is a Rife machine you wear on your wrist. If you haven't checked it out, you got to do so, man. This is good stuff. Anyway, go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page. And, actually, you don't even have to. There's a pop-up there that when you click on it, it'll take you to all the information about the Wave Watch. And hopefully, once you get yourself educated, you'll understand why this thing is such a good thing to have. Anyway, all right, right off the bat, I tell you, I get so frustrated. All hell's breaking loose. The release of that documentary we talked about last week, An Inconvenient Study, and it has really hit hard. So much so that the CDC has had to change its stand on autism. They used to say, yes, it's safe and effective, and there are absolutely no connections whatsoever from vaccines to autism. And now they have to say, well, there's no studies that show that it doesn't. So they have made taken a major step back from their stand. And you know what's going to happen? Think about this for a second. Think about the liability factor. Yeah, think about all these parents of children who now, many of them are adults, because this has been going on for decades. You know, these unfortunate souls that were born with autism, and now they're adults and they're still wearing diapers and they still can't speak, et cetera, and this has destroyed so many people's lives. And again, I can't help but think of the liability factor. Now, of course, we all have heard the stories about, Big Pharma getting sued for this or that or what have you. And inevitably, they pay a fine. Yeah, Pfizer was forced to pay a $2 billion fine, and everybody goes, yes. And they pump their fists and say, yeah, they really got it stuck to them this time. Well, the simple fact is that they probably made hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars pushing their poisonous products. And they end up paying like a small percentage, maybe 2 or 5% of their profits they have to pay in a fine. Hey, that's the cost of doing business, Well, let's just think about that for a second. What's going to happen if the parents go after the doctors? Think about that for a second. All right, these doctors take the Hippocratic Oath and they swear that they will do no harm. And yet, that's exactly what they did when they pushed these hokey-pokey thingy-dingies. This has been going on for such a long time, and now these parents, there are millions of parents around the country that are absolutely explosively livid about this. They knew it all along, and they were called crazy, conspiracy theorists, troublemakers, what have you, and now you find out that they were right. Wow, we're going to have to see what the ripple effect is going to be with this documentary. And again, if you haven't seen it, it's called An Inconvenient Study. You need to check that out and share it with your doctor, share it with a pediatrician, share it with any health professional, and help them to understand we're not conspiracy theorists. It's not a theory, folks. And, all these people that are going after the conspiracy theorists, you don't seem to recognize the fact that, we conspiracy theorists have got, batting 1,000. Well, maybe not 1,000, but 999. More often than not, they're right. And right now, of course, everybody's going after Candace Owens. So much is coming out about that. Is there an assassination plot to take out Candace Owens? And for those who are cheering that type of an activity on, and there's so many of them, shame on all of you guys. What are they going to do? They're going to take out Candace Owens now? They already took out Charlie Kirk. So who's next? Okay, is it going to be Candace? Is it going to be Tucker? Is it going to be Ian Carroll? Is it going to be Ryan Mata? Is it going to be Eric Warsaw? Is it going to be Jimmy Dore? Is it going to be Kim Iverson? Is it going to be, TPV Sean? You're going to have to take everybody out. Boy, that would really draw attention to the issue, wouldn't it? Anyway, in the news, okay, I'm sure by now you probably heard about that poor girl, that 22-year-old girl who was set fire to in Chicago by a guy, get this, folks, he had been arrested 72 times. 72 times this guy's been arrested. Now, what the heck was he doing out, in society? And I understand that he had an ankle monitor on when he set this girl on fire. This is the justice system. This is insanity. And who are these judges that keep releasing all these criminals back into society? And why are they doing this? These are very serious questions that need to be addressed. But anyway, yeah. And like I said, over the weekend, so many people are posting in regard to what happened with the release of that documentary I was just mentioning. These parents are livid. When are we going to see justice? When is that going to happen? Anyway, one of the other things, last Friday, I don't know if you were listening last Friday, but, there's so many people out there that are talking about anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, yes, okay, you hate Jews, it's anti-Semitism. People don't even know what a Semite is. And I've been posting the definition of Semite. And a Semite is someone who speaks a particular language that is indigenous to the area. And that would be, Jews and Arabs. Okay, so if a Semite is somebody who speaks a particular language, how do we get from Semite to anti-Semite, and now that's someone who hates a Jew? It doesn't work that way. But people are just twisting and manipulating words left and right, and it's so infuriating. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm not. I was never a religious person. I never even paid attention to the Bible until, about 30 years ago. And I was feeling really sad. I'd gone through a separation and all that stuff, and a friend of mine gave me a Bible, and I was just feeling really sad, and I just opened it randomly. And it took me to Ezekiel 33. And in Ezekiel 33, God tells the people to assign a watcher on the wall. And when he sees the sword come upon the land, he is to blow the trumpet. If he sees the sword and blows not the trumpet, then the people's blood are on his head. However, if he sees the sword and blows not the trumpet, then their blood is on his head. And that's sort of what inspired me to, start speaking the truth. I became a talk show host. And that's what motivated me and inspired me to do that. And so here I am. I'm back out there. I took some time off because my head exploded when I found out all the evil was in this world. I was not prepared to go down the rabbit trail, but I tumbled down that rabbit trail back in the 90s. And anyway, the bottom line, this is why, I keep saying, look, I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. And I don't lie. Now, I could be wrong about something. Everybody has the right to be wrong. But as the saying goes, when a man who is honestly mistaken hears the truth, he will either quit being mistaken or he will cease to be honest. And these are words that I live by, okay? I've made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You just correct your mistake and you move on. It's a learning opportunity. So that's why I'm here. And like I said, I took some time out after everything sort of went crazy with the power hour, and Joyce and I ended up having a shall we say, a difference of opinions on certain things. And plus, you couple that with the idea that I had learned so much in such a short period of time. I mean, I got an education you could not get from going to college. But and with all of my conversations that I had with Ted Gunderson, who was a former FBI bureau chief, and he opened up my eyes to a lot of stuff that was going on with these, with the trafficking of children, the explosion of sex and satanic cults that were coming up all over the country. And we're talking about back in the 80s and 90s. And here we are like 35 years after. I mean, this has gone everywhere. And this is one of the reasons why I just checked out. I said, no, the heck with the 9/11 truth movement, or the 9/11 bowel movement, I called it, because so many people were full of crap. Goodbye to the patriot movement. Too many patriots in it for the money. I said, no, that's not it. You're not here for the money. But anyway, I got off track here, but this is what motivates me to be here. And it pains me, it infuriates me when I see people who twist and manipulate words to suit their agenda. Now, you may recall that Ted Cruz was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. And let me see if I have that here. Let me see. I've got a whole bunch of clips here. Which one was it? Okay, I lost track of it. But the point is Ted Cruz was talking with Tucker Carlson, and he said that, God told, him. Let me see if this is it. Let me see if this one is that it, or yeah, here it is. Ted Cruz. And this is him talking with Tucker Carlson. All right, here it is.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Okay.
And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Okay, he just said that in the Bible. God said, let me play it again. You want get word for word? Here it is.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible.
From the Bible.
Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Again, Genesis 12:3. God is speaking to Abraham. God says to Abraham, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. Didn't say Israel. He was talking to Abraham. So my contention here is that when you take God's word and you change them around to suit your own agenda, I think that's a pretty big sin. I think that's pretty screwed up. But, it's not only Ted Cruz that's been doing it. Mike Huckabee, he did the same thing. Listen to this.
In Genesis 12, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed.
That's not what it says. That's not what it says. I would encourage, and implore anybody to get a Bible and read it. The sad thing is most people will just go along. They'll just say, oh, that's what he said. It must be true. Yeah, all right. And it's one thing to say that, and I'll play that clip again. Here it is.
In Genesis 12, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Now, you would think that somebody would correct him and say, excuse me, Mr. Huckabee, that's not what it says. But you know what? He just doubles down and says it again. Here's another clip saying the same thing.
So in Genesis, when the scripture says God will bless those who bless Israel and curse those who curse Israel, we don't argue with God about that.
Oh, but you just did. You just did. You're putting words in God's mouth. And I have to tell you, folks, I think there's a penalty for this. And, they are twisting and turning everything. A couple of weeks ago, there was a TPUSA rally, and J.D. Vance was in attendance, and he started taking some questions. Now, here is a student that stood up, and he asked the following question. Here it is.
Has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty. Israel is a nation where Christians are constantly under attack in both Gaza and the West Bank. We talk about America first and defending Christians, But how can we do this if we align ourselves with a nation that does not do that itself?
Okay, that was the question raised, and I'm going to play the first part of it again because that was the part that really ticked off Ted Cruz.
Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty.
Okay, it wasn't in 1960, it was 1967, but nonetheless, he was bringing up a good point. Now, how is it that Israel is our greatest ally when they attack our own ships? Now, Ted Cruz responded and said this was a viciously anti-Semitic question. Here's what he said.
It is spreading. There are pastors who love Israel who think all is fine, and my message to them is go and talk to the teenagers in your congregation. Go and talk to the 20-somethings in your congregation because they're picking up their phone and they're watching TikTok and they're watching Instagram and they're hearing this message being driven, and it is resonating. And if you want an illustration of this.
Yeah, give me an illustration. What is it?
Several weeks ago, J.D. Vance was down at Ole Miss at a Turning Point gathering, and one kid got up, asked this viciously anti-Semitic question.
Oh, a viciously anti-Semitic question to bring up the USS Liberty? Seriously, Ted? Really?
The most horrifying thing to me is what happened in the second later, which is the crowd erupted in applause. Not everybody. My guess is 20 to 30% of the kids there were applauding the viciously anti-Semitic question.
Okay, that's viciously anti-Semitic. He said about 30%. No. It was a huge percentage. A lot more than half of those kids were jumping up and down and screaming.
A week or two later, there was another event.
Yeah.
With Eric and Laura Trump at Auburn University. A kid got up and said, I can do even better, and asked such an anti-Semitic question, it was filled with lies. Every word of the question was a lie, including and, but, and thee.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because you've lost all respect in my mind, Ted Cruz. Everything that you are saying is a lie. Everything that you say is a lie. There's something else that Ted Cruz said. It's kind of interesting. Listen to this.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders?
Okay.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape?
Okay, yeah.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
What? These are the people who are running this country. This is the trouble that we're in. Our country has been taken over. We have been occupied. There ain't no doubt it. And this is why people are screaming about AZAPAC. And it's not just AZAPAC. It's all the private donors that donate all these millions of dollars to politicians who will, toe the line for Israel. We have been taken over. And, of course, there's always those three magic words, those tools that are used to manipulate and direct our politicians. What are those three magic words?
Bribery, coercion, blackmail.
Yeah, bribery, coercion, and blackmail. I wonder what it is that they've got on Ted Cruz and why he wants to protect the pedophiles. Yeah, there's a video clip of Ted Cruz with a little girl. And you should see the look on his face as he's giving her little pecking kisses on the cheek. And then he looks at the camera and sort of like, you sick individual. And these are the people who are, pushed to the top and to the front of the line. It's heartbreaking. So this is why we're seeing more and more people are standing against Israel, not because they hate Jews. It's not about hating the Jews, okay? Now, there are real Jews and there are fake Jews. We know we've been through this before, but the bottom line here is that the overwhelming majority of those who call themselves Jews are not Jews. No, they are not. And this is why some people are standing up against all the funding that is being funneled into Congress's pocket through AZAPAC and other organizations, other fundraising operations. And there is a group now that is formed called AZAPAC. And they don't want to just request that we get our country back. They want to actively take it back. Listen, this is a promo for AZAPAC. And by the way, you can go to AZAPAC.com and contribute to the cause if you'd like. That's AZAPAC.com, AZAPAC.com. Here's their promo.
The United States of America did not begin with a revolution against tyranny, only to serve a foreign nation state. But the fact is, our government acts like the servant of another country. That other country is, of course, the State of Israel. That's not policy. That's a national disgrace. I'm Michael Rechtenwald, founder of the Anti-Zionist America Political Action Committee, or AZAPAC. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? The U.S. government has been hijacked by forces loyal to Israel. Does Congress represent us? No. With rare exceptions, they work for Israel. These aren't your elected reps, they're puppets. And their strings are pulled by donors loyal to the modern nation-state of Israel. This isn't an alliance, it's extortion. While we're scraping by, eggs at $6 a dozen, rent or mortgage devouring our paychecks, our leaders have funneled over $21 billion to Israel in 2 years, not counting the cost of U.S. engagements in the region at Israel's behest. The total cost to U.S. taxpayers in service of Israel is an estimated $33 billion since October 7th, 2023. That's on top of the $3.8 billion sent Israel every year. Billions that could fix our roads. Billions that could fund our schools. Billions that could house our veterans. Billions that could ease your burden. But no, they fund endless Israeli aggression instead. Israel, the largest recipient of U.S. aid in history. Israel, the country that bombed the USS Liberty. Israel, the country using our weapons to mass murder innocents. 20,000 children, to be exact. Gaza ripped off the mask. We all watched the live-streamed horrors. The money extorted from us funds crimes against humanity, what genocide scholars and dozens of humanitarian organizations call a genocide. This blind allegiance, this veto on our national sovereignty, this denial of reality must end. We've had more than enough. AZAPAC isn't here to beg. We're here to evict. We're backing warriors who spit in the face of this cabal. Jose Vega in New York, confronting the uniparty machine. He's challenging AIPAC darling Richie Torres. Mike Wilnaugh in Florida, an America-only patriot challenging Daniel Webster, a fossilized incumbent who serves everyone but the American people. Aaron Baker, also in Florida. He rejects AIPAC bribes and demands an end to the foreign aid grift. He's challenging the biggest Zionist of them all, Randy Fine.
Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America.
AZAPAC isn't a protest, it's a reclamation. America isn't a vassal state. We're no one's colony. We're not supposed to be an ATM and munitions depot for Israel. If you're done with the fear, done with our politicians taking bribes, done with being smeared with the anti-Semitic label just because you want your country back, then AZAPAC is your army. Head to AZAPAC.com. That's AZA-PAC.com right now. Donate, volunteer, amplify, join the fight. Because we're not pleading for our country back. We're taking it.
Yeah, we're taking it back. And well, we should. All right, quick break here. Where's the break? There it is.
Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more Tank by visiting our website. Go to TheWTFReports.com. That's TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page, and it'll take you down to a window where you can click on it and find out all the specifications and details about how and why Get More Tank is good stuff for your vehicle. It doesn't make any difference whatever make, model, or year that you've got. It's going to help your engine. And if you start off with, the 2 tablets for your first application, right off the bat, within 1 tank, you're going to notice that your car or truck or whatever is going to go. When you hit that accelerator, boom, you're out. That light turns green, and they get nothing behind you but butts and feet. So, you got to check this stuff out. And not only that, but after a couple of tanks, you will start to see improved gas mileage, which means money in your pocket. This stuff pays for itself. It's just a no-brainer. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and get more Tank. All right, that said, we're going to open up the phone lines. Yeah, let's open up the phone lines. It's time. 215-867-8255. That's 215-867-8255. And please don't wait until the last 2 minutes of the program to call in. Cynthia, I know you're out there. You have a habit of doing that. So if you want to join the program, this is the time to do it. Call in now. So, anyway, aside from all that, like I said, yours truly, I'm pretty upset about this whole thing with the revelations of the Inconvenient Study documentary that came out. A huge ripple effect is going across the country. Hundreds of people are posting on social media how furious they are. And I'm just curious to know, is there anybody out there listening right now that has been affected by, these vaccines that cause, well, not just autism. That's the thing about this documentary. It's not just about autism. It's not just about ADHD. It's not just about all of the allergies and autoimmune problems. I mean, there's across the board, so many problems are being experienced by families who were forced. Well, you weren't really forced to take it. You didn't have to take it. Yes, you were forced to take it. Just like during COVID, the pandemic. Nobody forced you to take it. Yeah, okay, well, if you don't take it, you can't go to work. You can't go shopping. You can't go visit your grandma at the nursing home. They just clamped down on everything and everybody. But they said it was all on you. It's all voluntary. Yeah, right. So anyway, if you've got anybody in your family or your circle of friends, I'd like to hear from you and see what the ramifications are about this. Now, getting back to this issue about the imposters, the liars, and again, Ted Cruz, shame on you. Yeah, I mean, and you too, Mike Huckabee. And by the way, that's the big controversy, the convicted spy that spent 30 years in prison. And then he shot over to Israel, kissed the ground, was given a hero's welcome by Bibi Netanyahu. And this is the guy that Mike Huckabee basically entertained at the U.S. Embassy. And that's why everybody's saying, Mike Huckabee, you need to resign immediately. You are in with a den of vipers and liars. And again, I've been screaming about this for over 2 years. There are so many members of the Israeli government that are not who they say they are. They are imposters. They are liars. They even change their names to sound like they're Jewish, but they're not. They change their names to sound like they're indigenous to the Middle East, but no. They came from South Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and North America. As a matter of fact, there's a poster here. What's this? Who posted this? This was posted by Hassan Mafi. And he says that everything about Zionism is fake. And it is. Listen to this post.
When I show you what I'm about to show you, your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. Do you know what his original name is? It's Grun. Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky. I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. Remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they changed their names. Here's another one. Moshe Sharat. His name is Chertok originally. You've got Levi Eshkol. Eshkol was Shklonik. So he changed it from Shklonik to Eshkol. Then you have Yigal Alon. His original name, Peikovitz. Golda Meir, Israel's first female prime minister. Her real name is not Golda Meir. It's Mabovich. Mabovich. More like mad bitch. We have Yitzhak Rabin, right? His name is not Rabin. It's Rubitsov. Are you seeing the pattern? These are Eastern European names. Not Palestinian, not Jewish, not Middle Eastern. They're Eastern European. Okay? They're not Palestinian. They don't come from this region. Yitzhak Shamir. He's a great one. You know, Yitzhak Shamir, he's on the wanted poster because he was wanted by the British police in Palestine for terrorism. But they don't tell you that. So Yitzhak Shamir, his original name is Yezernitsky. Yezernitsky.
Okay, I'm going to pause that. You know, he's going through a whole list, and I got another list here too. And I've gone through this in the past. You know, they are imposters. Isaac Herzog, who was the Israeli president, believe it or not, he's from Ireland. Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, prime minister. His Milikowski, that's Polish. Yeah. Yoav Gallant, he was the defense minister. He also was from Poland. Bzalel Smotrich, finance minister, he's from the Ukraine. Itamar Ben-Gvir, national security minister, is from Iraq. Wow. Eli Cohen, foreign minister, from Morocco. Yair Lapid, opposition leader, he's from Serbia. It goes on and on. Benny Getz, former defense minister and a war cabinet, he's from Hungary. Gilad Erdan, Israeli UN representative, is from Romania. They are all imposters. Every last one of them. And they've got everybody snookered into thinking, yes, we're the real indigenous people. We're the real Jews. No. I don't think so. I really don't think so. So anyway, more is stuff now. More people are pointing an accusatory finger in the direction of Israel and all the other countries that they have taken over. Yeah, it's not just the United States that's been occupied. The Israeli, or shall I say, Talmudic, quote-unquote, Jewish influence has permeated the entire world. And there's one guy, let me see, this is posted by Bobby Sauce. And this guy posts, he's saying, hey, what if Candace Owens is right? I mean, she's taken so many hits across the board. What if she's right? Like I was saying a couple of minutes ago, we conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000 here. More often than not, we're found out to be right after the fact. And as I was saying, there's another example with the release of the documentary, An Inconvenient Study. Yeah, anybody that was saying that autism was caused by vaccines was called a conspiracy theorist. Well, guess what? Once again, they were right. It only took 30-odd years to get that figured out, but that's where we're at. So what if Candace Owens is right?
So Candace made a post over the weekend with some pretty big claims that allege that there's a real threat for her life. And a lot of people have been dogging on her lately, suggesting that she's crazy and that all the things that she's saying don't make any sense and whatever else. But it just makes me wonder, what if she was right? And what if this threat, like all the other things, many of the things she said, actually are true or very close to true? Because in these types of scenarios, it's, wow, they're crazy until they're not. And I can't help but think about Virginia Giuffre, the most outspoken survivor of Jeffrey Poopstein and the people that supposedly didn't exist that she was whatever to. Because the people that she accused, like Ehud Barak, like Prince Andrew, well, they're free and walking around alive and well. And well, Virginia Giuffre, who publicly said that she would not take her own life, well, she did. All while she was writing her second memoir that was published after her death. Oh, and by the way, a month before this happened, she got hit by a bus. Because it's very important to establish just a couple things here. One is that, do you believe that great, tremendous evil exists in the world and that it is very, very prominent in the highest of halls of power? Do you believe that to be true? Do you believe that those types of people could be in highly authoritative positions like a prime minister, like a president, like a three-letter agency? Do you believe that could be true? Do you believe that people in these positions of power, or ones with connections to them and money, do you believe that they end people's time on the earth as a method of silencing them? Do you believe that to be true? Do you believe that there has been or could be such a high-profile person to give a forewarning of something potentially like that happening? Has there ever been a person as famous as Candace Owens that could do that? In the event that something like that did happen, would people believe her then? Or would they say, oh, it was a bus, or whatever? And then on top of all that, it's like, if you think that she's just doing all this for money, or you think she's crazy, is she making this one up? Is she doing this for money? Is this a money grab? Do you believe that after all this, when the dust settles, if it comes out and there's irrefutable, obvious proof, and we see all the footage that Tyler Robinson just did it, plain and simple, and he was by himself, and we all watched the court case, and it's all so obvious, would anybody ever listen to her again? Do you think that she's so low intelligence that she would put all that out there knowing that it would destroy her career? She's just so rich it doesn't matter? All this stuff she's built was leading up to this inevitable crescendo where she's just like, all right, here it is, here's the final cash out, and then I'm going to pretend someone's trying to end me. Her message seems to be getting places, and she seems to be pissing a lot of people off.
Oh, yeah.
In the event that she was right, wouldn't this be the timeline that would follow? I just don't understand why people aren't just like, hey, let her cook. Let's see if she's right. I don't really see the harm in that. Because unfortunately, the path to uncovering evil is a bumpy one. And if the worst is that people's feelings get hurt in pursuit of the truth, how bad really is that? I sincerely hope for her safety, because I think she just might be onto something.
Yeah, I think she might be.
I
think she might be onto something too. And somebody else posted in a related post on X the following:
and domestic. If what Candace Owens posted this morning is actually true, then we're not talking politics anymore. We're talking an international assassination plot involving France, Israel, and possibly the U.S. government. If what Candace Owens posted is even partially true, then this is the biggest political story of our lifetime. Candace says a high-ranking French government insider contacted her and told her that Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron approved and paid for her assassination. Not rumors, not speculation, a direct claim. She says France's elite counter-terror unit, the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, was greenlit to carry it out with one Israeli operative on the team. And listen, up until this point, if anything had happened to Candace, everyone would have assumed Israel was behind it. That was the entire narrative. But now she's saying the order came straight from France, and Israel was just a piece of the operation. And that flips everything upside down. She's also claiming Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Foreign Legion, which means this wasn't random. This was coordinated, multi-state, professional. And let's not forget about the planes. Don't forget about the planes. And Andrew Colvett, is this what you were warning her about? Because suddenly your credible threat comment feels a lot less random. But here's the part nobody should ignore. Candace says her source claims that the U.S. leaders already know about the threat, and they didn't warn her. If that's true, then this is no longer just a scandal. This is a national security crisis. This is where someone like Tulsi Gabbard needs to step in. Someone who isn't controlled by either side. Someone with military intelligence experience. Someone who actually calls out corruption, foreign and domestic. Tulsi, please, we need you to demand answers. We need a real investigation, because if a foreign government ordered a political assassination on American soil of an American citizen and our own leaders stay quiet, then that should terrify every single American. Let it all be revealed. And domestic.
Yep. Let it all be revealed. Let the chips fall where they may. And to be honest, I don't know if we're ever going to see that. I really don't. We've been basically had, for those of us who supported Trump early on, in his first administration, go get him, boy. Yeah, it was, we were right behind him. And then, of course, with the 2020 election fraud that got on, we ended up with 4 years of Biden-Harris. And now we said, okay, we got Trump back in there. We're back on track. But looks like we're backtracking. We're not getting what we thought we were going to get. Kash Patel, he needs to resign at this point. And Dan Bongino, you too. And a lot of people are saying, Bondi? Oh, you mean day one Bondi? Oh, that Bondi? Day one? Yeah, it didn't happen. And you know what? I don't think it's going to happen. I think we've all been had, we've all been psyoped, we've all been snookered, we've all been gaslight, we've all been lied to, we've all been propagandized, we've all been manipulated. Well, there is a push right now for a complete and total general strike. A general strike, yeah. I mean, I think that's probably what we need at this point. And this has got nothing to do with Republicans or Democrats. We are all Americans, and we're all being screwed over. And I don't care what side of the political aisle that you stand on, we're all suffering the same community crises. As a matter of fact, here, I'm going to go ahead and play this. This is one guy that was, let me see, who was this? Gabriel something or other. Anyway, he posted the following. Let's see. Go for it. Do it. It's paused. Oh, I got a spinny wheel. Oh, isn't that great? Let's do it.
I want you to listen to me really carefully, because the big, beautiful boycott starts on November 25th. And this is the one that could change everything. This is not left versus right. This is people versus a system that keeps taking and never giving back. And for the first time in a long time, millions are moving together.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there, because he put up a graphic that basically illustrates what I've been saying for the longest time. The powers that be want a civil war. They want the right and the left to basically wipe each other out. That's why they keep saying, Tyler Robinson, a left-wing, activist. He's the one who took out Charlie Kirk. So he wants all the Charlie Kirk and right-wingers to hate all the left-wingers. But I don't believe it was Tyler Robinson. I think that more and more information, the official narrative about Charlie Kirk's assassination has got more holes than Swiss cheese, but that's another issue altogether. The powers that be want us to fight each other. A right versus left, horizontal conflict. When you've got a horizontal conflict, you never get to the people at the top. So you don't need a horizontal conflict. We need a bottom-to-top conflict. We need to go after the movers, the shakers, the policy makers, the ones who are pulling the strings. Anyway, let's continue with this guy's talk about what we can do.
What started with 4 small groups just weeks ago has already grown to more than 100 organizations. Movements do not grow like that unless people are fed up. And right now, people are beyond fed up. Phase 1 begins November 25th. And the main action is simple. No shopping. Nothing for Black Friday. Nothing leading up to it. That is the pressure point. And companies know exactly how much it hurts when people step back during their biggest profit week of the year. But here's what matters most. You don't have to do everything. If you cannot do it all, do something. Call in sick for a day or 2. Use some PTO if you can. Pick one act of solidarity that fits your life. Share it. Talk about it. Get other people aware. Just be part of the movement. Small actions turn into a tidal wave when millions do them together. And November 25th is when that wave begins.
Okay, that's tomorrow, folks, and it's called the Media Blackout, November 25th through December 2nd. It's not just for tomorrow. No, it's for the entire week. Let's see, looking at my calendar here, a full week. Mass blackout from November 25th to December 2nd. Why their strength is our spending. If you don't spend any money, you don't go to work, basically it's called a general strike. So if you have to go out and spend go buy something, use cash only. No cards, no debit cards, no credit cards. And if you have to do business, you have to go buy something, buy it from a small business. Avoid Walmart and Target and Home Depot and all the big chain stores. So if you want to participate, it starts tomorrow and it goes on for an entire week. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. We've got to figure out some sort of a way that we can non-violently get their attention. And I don't want to see this country fall into violence, but that's exactly what the powers that be want. They want us fighting each other. And that suits their purpose. Simple as that. All right, once again, the phone number here is 215-867-8255. Again, 215-867-8255. I'm going to leave the phone lines open for just another couple of minutes. If you wait for more than 5 minutes, I can't take your call. So anyway, let me see what else is going on. Okay, this 3-eye atlas thing is getting interestinger and interestinger. I mentioned it. I'm sort of keeping tabs on that. Because, this thing, it whipped around behind the sun the end of October, and it came out, they had some anomaly. It looked like it was sucking flames from the sun, and the sun now has rotated, and now the part that was being sucked away is facing the earth, and they've got photos of the sun with a huge sunspot, if you will. I mean, it's gargantuan. They're saying it's 30 times the size of the Earth. Meanwhile, this 3-eye atlas anomaly swung behind the sun, and they expected it to have a certain trajectory, but it didn't have that trajectory. It changed its course, and it changed its speed. This is a very strange anomaly. Who knows? Maybe they're setting up Operation Bluebeam here. Maybe they're going to fake an alien invasion, and that's something that Ronald Reagan alluded to back in 1987. Here's what he said.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Well, are they setting us up? Are they setting the table for Operation Bluebeam? I mean, let's turn the clock back. Remember last January with all those drones that were over Long Island and New Jersey and New York and Connecticut? And then remember 2 years ago on New Year's, you remember when they had hundreds of police officers and first responders all descending on that shopping mall down in Miami, and they actually shut down the air traffic because some folks had said there is an alien at the shopping mall. And then they eventually said, it was some teenagers that were causing a disturbance and they were, banging sticks or something. Oh, really? Is that why you had hundreds of police cars on the way? I mean, they shut down everything. They shut down the air traffic. What? Because of some teenagers with sticks? Oh, seriously, not really.
Kind of fool. Do you think I am, baby? Think I am. Thought you can't think that.
Yeah, what kind of fool do you think we are? They keep on trying to throw this stuff at us, and then of course, like I said, last winter, all of these orbs or these anomalies floating around. They were just spraying some. They were doing surveillance. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, surveillance. Yeah, they were looking for illegal aliens. That's what it was.
What kind of fool do you think I am?
Yeah, I know. This is what they do. So unfortunately, like I said, so many Americans are so out of touch that whenever they say, whatever they say on the news, they're going to believe it. And that's just crazy. Anyway, let me see. Oh, there was one more thing. Oh, I almost forgot about this one. On Chinese television. Now, let me just play a little bit of this because it's all in Chinese.
永远不要相信犹太人说的话。有人只告诉你。
Okay, now it's in Chinese. Obviously, we can't do that. But I'm going to turn the sound off and I'm going to read the subtitles because this is really interesting. This is what's going on in Asia right now. Listen to what they're saying on television in China and in North Korea and in the Asian countries. Listen, okay, I will read the subtitles. Never believe what the Jews say. You were only told that the Jews paid a huge price under the wrath of the Germans. Let me see. And their population was decimated by a full 6 million. But they deliberately did not tell you what the Jews did to the Germans. Let me see, another one. Throughout history, Jews had been homeless, and no country would take them in. But the kind Germans did. But instead of being grateful, the Jews chose to betray and kick the Germans when they were down. After coming to Germany, the Jews, with their superb business talent, soon mastered half of Germany's economic lifelines. At that time, Germany was fighting on two fronts, and its national strength was strained. But the filthy rich Jews not only failed to provide assistance, but also engaged in rampant hoarding of food and medicine, profiting from the national crisis. And they forcibly issued currency, using economic means to harvest the wealth from the hands of the German people, making the German economy chaotic. The German people were so poor that they had nothing to eat. But instead of giving them relief, the Jews would rather throw away their bread than lower the price. When the Germans had no money to live on, they lent money and squeezed the last shred of value out of the Germans. By this time, the anger of the Germans against the Jews had reached an unprecedented level. Okay, next line. You were told that the Jews are very grateful for the period when China sheltered them. Let me see, keep going. Okay, but no one told you that the crimes they committed against us were far worse than the crimes committed against the Germans. Let me see. In 1840, the British smashed open our country with their powerful ships and cannons. And the most hidden culprits were the Jews. They incited the British, and then took advantage of the situation to pillage. They also supported the Japanese and even tried to establish separatist rule over the 3 northeastern provinces. They speculated, got to clear myself out. The 3 northeastern provinces. Okay. They speculated and profited in Shanghai. They hoarded goods. Ooh, that went so fast. I'm trying to keep up with the subtitles here. They hoarded goods without restraint and destroyed people's livelihood. In 1915, the Jewish Rockefeller family came to China. I didn't know that. And implemented a series of measures against traditional Chinese medicine, attempting to let Western medicine take over the market. They opened Western medical hospitals and taught us Western medicine for free. However, those who studied Western medicine had to give up Chinese medicines for life. Whoa. And criticize it. They paid off the warlords to negate the yin-yang and 5 elements system of traditional Chinese medicine from medicine as pseudoscience. Anyway, I'm going to wrap that up. This is coming out of China. Yeah, this is what people are figuring it out. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Boy, there was a little bit more to that, but I think you got the general idea. Anyway, boy, that hour shot by quickly. If you're enjoying the broadcast, I certainly hope you are. And if you're listening on BitChute or Rumble or YouTube or Facebook, please click like, share, subscribe, and above all else, spread the word. Word of mouth is the best advertising. And especially, do some business with our Sponsors. Yeah, that's what they are. They're sponsors. And if you really like the show, you can make a donation at our GoFundMe page on the website, TheWTFReports.com. All right, that said, it wraps it up for the Monday edition of the WTF Reports. I'll be back again tomorrow. So until then, stay safe, stay free, and above all else, stay in prayer. We're going to need it. God bless you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.